And I'm determined to help Puerto Rico build faster than in the past and stronger and better prepared for the future.
I've done more for Puerto Rico than any president I think that's ever been president.
Puerto Rico is a tropical paradise known for its stunning beaches, vibrant culture, and rich history. But beneath the beauty lies a harsh reality. The island is in crisis. Businesses are shutting down. Families are leaving. And for those who stay, life is getting more complex every day. Decades of economic struggles, political challenges, and natural disasters have pushed Puerto Rico to the brink, leaving millions wondering what comes next. Broken economy. Puerto Rico's economy has been declining for decades. Once thriving industries such as agriculture and manufacturing have collapsed. During the mid-20th century, Operation Bootstrap helped transform the island's economy with U.S. tax incentives, attracting industries like pharmaceuticals and textiles. But when these tax breaks ended in 2006, many companies relocated, causing widespread job losses. By 2015, Puerto Rico had lost more than 200,000 jobs, significantly weakening its economy. A significant issue is the island's $70 billion debt crisis. In 2016, the U.S. Congress passed the PROMESA Act, placing Puerto Rico under a financial oversight board. The board imposed severe austerity measures, cutting essential services like education and healthcare. These cuts worsened economic conditions, increasing poverty and unemployment. Puerto Rico's reliance on imports also raises costs. The Jones Act requires all imported goods to be transported on U.S. ships, adding up to 20% in additional costs. This makes food, fuel, and basic necessities more expensive for residents, deepening economic struggles. The tourism industry, which once contributed significantly to the economy, has also struggled due to frequent natural disasters and infrastructure issues. Many businesses that relied on tourism have shut down, causing further job losses. Meanwhile, small businesses face challenges due to high taxes, bureaucracy, and limited access to funding. These economic pressures have created a situation where many residents feel they have no choice but to leave. Why people are leaving the island? The population of Puerto Rico is shrinking rapidly. In 2000, the island had 3.8 million residents. By 2023, this number had fallen to 3.1 million. Experts predict it may drop below 3 million within the next decade. The exodus is driven by economic hardship, limited job opportunities, and frequent natural disasters. Young, educated Puerto Ricans are among those leaving in large numbers. With an unemployment rate consistently higher than the U.S. average, many seek better wages and living conditions in states like Florida, Texas, and New York. The loss of skilled workers weakens the island's ability to recover, while a growing elderly population places more pressure on public services. Between 2010 and 2020, over 500,000 Puerto Ricans left the island, accelerating the population decline. Schools and hospitals have closed due to fewer residents, further eroding the quality of life. Many professionals, including doctors and engineers, have relocated, leaving critical gaps in the healthcare and infrastructure sectors. Those who remain often struggle with lower wages and reduced access to essential services. With fewer taxpayers and reduced economic activity, government revenues shrink. This makes it even harder to fund essential services, creating a cycle of decline that fuels further migration. If this trend continues, Puerto Rico may face a severe labor shortage, making economic recovery even more difficult. But it's not just about economics. When disaster strikes, the situation gets even worse. Natural disasters have made everything worse. Hurricane Maria in 2017 was the most devastating storm in Puerto Rico's modern history. It caused an estimated $90 billion in damage, destroyed much of the island's power grid, and left 3.4 million people without electricity. Some areas waited nearly a year for power restoration. while thousands of homes remained uninhabitable for years. The official death toll was 2,975, though many believe the actual number is higher. Puerto Rico also faces an increased threat from climate change. Rising temperatures and ocean levels contribute to stronger and more frequent hurricanes. The 2020 earthquakes further damaged homes and infrastructure, leaving thousands displaced. Recovery has been slow due to limited federal aid and government mismanagement. Power outages remain common, and the energy grid is still fragile. The island's vulnerability to disasters has driven even more residents to leave, worsening its demographic crisis. Infrastructure damage from these disasters has also disrupted transportation, schools, and businesses. Many roads remain in poor condition, while unreliable utilities make daily life difficult. The continued threat of hurricanes discourages investment, making it even harder for the economy to rebound. Healthcare crisis. Healthcare in Puerto Rico is another serious problem. Many hospitals and clinics do not have enough resources, and doctors leave the island for better-paying jobs in the U.S. mainland. Fewer medical professionals are on the island, meaning patients often wait long for treatment. The COVID-19 pandemic made the situation even worse. Hospitals were overwhelmed, and many people could not get proper care. Without improvements in the healthcare system, Puerto Ricans will continue to suffer from poor medical services. Another issue is that Medicaid funding in Puerto Rico is much lower than in U.S. states. Since many Puerto Ricans rely on Medicaid, this lack of funding makes it harder for people to get the medical care they need. Political problems and lack of power. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, not a state. This means that while Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, they cannot vote in U.S. presidential elections and have no voting representatives in Congress. As a result, Puerto Rico has little say in the laws that affect it. Because of its status, Puerto Rico receives less federal aid than U.S. states. After Hurricane Maria, Puerto Rico received much less help than states like Texas and Florida, even though the damage was similar. If Puerto Rico became a state, it would receive more support and funding from the U.S. government. There is an ongoing debate about Puerto Rico's political future. Some want it to become a U.S. state, while others want it to be independent. Others prefer keeping its current territorial status. Until a clear decision is made, Puerto Rico will continue to struggle with limited political power and funding. Corruption in government. Many Puerto Ricans do not trust their leaders. Corruption has been a big problem for years, with politicians accused of stealing public money, making secret deals, and failing to help the people. For example, 2019 protests erupted after leaked messages showed government officials making offensive comments and discussing unethical actions. The governor at the time, Ricardo Rossello, was forced to resign. Even after this, many believe corruption continues to harm Puerto Rico's ability to improve. Several government officials have been arrested recently for fraud and misuse of funds. This corruption prevents Puerto Rico from using its limited resources effectively to solve its problems. The education system is failing. Schools in Puerto Rico are struggling due to budget cuts and low teacher salaries. Many schools have closed and teachers leave the island for better pay elsewhere. This hurts students because they do not get the education they need to succeed. Without good education, young people have fewer opportunities, leading them to leave the island for better chances elsewhere. This makes Puerto Rico's population decline even worse. The cost of living is too high. Life in Puerto Rico is becoming more expensive, but wages remain low. Many essential goods like food and gas cost more than in the U.S. mainland. One primary reason is the Jones Act, which requires all goods shipped to Puerto Rico to come on U.S. ships. This increases the price of imports, making life more expensive for everyone. Housing costs are also rising. Wealthy investors from the U.S. are buying properties, driving up prices. Local people struggle to afford homes, forcing many families to leave Puerto Rico for a more affordable life elsewhere. Tourism is not enough to save the economy. Many people think tourism can save Puerto Rico's economy, but this is not enough. While the island attracts visitors with its beautiful beaches and historic sites, most money from tourism does not go to local businesses. Instead, large hotels and international companies take a significant share of the profits, leaving small business owners struggling. Also, after Hurricane Maria and the COVID-19 pandemic, tourism dropped significantly. Even though visitors are returning, Puerto Rico cannot rely on tourism alone to fix its economy. What can be done? Puerto Rico's recovery requires bold reforms. Economic revitalization is essential. Investments in technology, tourism, and renewable energy could create jobs and reduce reliance on imports. Reforming the Jones Act could lower costs for residents. Addressing political status issues could also unlock more federal support. Infrastructure improvements, especially in the power grid, are critical. Strengthening disaster response systems and prioritizing healthcare funding would enhance resilience. Puerto Rico is at a crossroads. Without decisive action, the island's decline will continue. But with the right changes, it can rebuild and thrive once again. Puerto Rico is a beautiful place, but it is struggling. The island's problems won't fix themselves. Change is needed before it's too late. What do you think is the best solution for Puerto Rico? Let us know in the comments.